This is our Honda Foreman Rubicon. It is a 2004, and we're going to be changing the carburetor today. So the very first step is you come right over here to the gas and turn this off. You're going to take the seat off. You got to take these out. This one out, which is the only one that requires a Phillips. Alright, this guy's loose. There we are. Set that to the side. Come on this side. This one is made to just pull off because that's where you access the lawnmower pull style. Next, similar process as to the first one. We're going to take this piece off. Boom, this guy's loose. Just have to pop it free from the top. There we are. While we're at it, we're going to come up high and take this piece around the gas tank off. So you have to take the gas cover off, and then there's two mud clips in there to take off. Okay, with those out, you can just lift this off. Put the gas back on. Next one, we're going to take these off. Those two bolts right there are a 10mm socket. Alright, after you have those loose, you can just grab this cover and take it right off. Okay, now that we're underneath the cover, we can see the carburetor's here, but the way to get there is to take this box out, and in order to get this box out, you have to start by taking the battery out. So the next step is to take the battery out. Battery came right out. Next, you got to take the air filter out, so you got to undo these 4 clips. Just grab the lid and pull it off. In order to remove the air filter box, there's 2 sneaky little mud clips in here. One right there, and one right there. You take those 2 out. Okay, I got the 2 mud clips out. These have little hinges, so you can just lift them right up. Get the wires out of the way. There we go. And then it's just these 2 hoses right there, and this smaller one right here. That one should be able to get off with your fingers. Okay, so this ATV has a little winch control box right here, or some kind of electrical box that the others didn't have, so I was able to just reach my hand right in there and grab that little thing, but then I had to use both hands on this ATV to get it off. So anyway, that is now off. The metal is just poked into the rubber coupling there, and then I loosened this hose clamp. You should be able to just grab and pull. Okay, well, I'm going to take this hose clamp off and get the air filter out. Okay, that hose clamp is loose. Pulling this out. I should be able to get the metal out of there. The hose comes out right there as this hose, which comes up to right there on the carb. So I'm just going to take that off. Okay, that hose is off. And now here, I should be able to just pull this straight out of there, and this metal piece should come out of here. Okay, that metal pipe is now out of there. This is loose, and then the last thing we have is this big old air system. It's like a snorkel, goes up into here, and it comes all the way down and goes right into the box right there. And I see people have the most trouble with that, but really all you got to do is grab it and squeeze, and then push. And you can push the whole thing straight out of the air filter box. And we should be able to just lift this out. Careful of that one hose that's still connected from the bottom. This hose. There it is. So the last thing that's in the way is this big old air hose. And I like to just kind of fold this out of the way and lift it up through there. And then just grab a hold and pull it out. Boom. I'm going to start with this wire right here, which clips on right there, and you just squeeze right there and pull it off. There we go. So then it just has this little thing right here that's actually supposed to be on the grommet like that, but just take that out of the way. I've moved on to the choke cable here. This is a 14mm wrench, and this little guy right there is just plastic, so I'd take it easy. I couldn't quite get it with my fingers, so just barely undo that. You should be able to get it with your finger. There we go. So this one you got to be careful when it comes out. Now that we're here, there's a little attached piece on the end with a spring and a little ball on the end of the choke cable wire, and you got to make sure those don't come off. So there they are, right there. Don't let that little pin get hurt, and make sure that spring stays on. Moving on to the gas line, there's a Phillips screw right there that I'll get from the other side, and then probably a 10mm socket there. Okay, I've walked around to the other side. Uh-oh, my screwdriver's too short. That is a 10mm right there. And there should be two on top of each other. I don't know why everything on this is so stiff I can't move it. There we go. Just take this guy off. The whole carb is just bending towards me. There we go. Broke it loose. So then, once this one's loose, this little nut, you can transition to spinning this whole thing. I guess it would make more sense to take this cover off and show what's going on inside. Alright, I got a longer screwdriver. We're gonna go with this thing. There we go. So there, the screw to the cover's out. Let's take the cover off. That's the throttle cable cover. There's the operation. You gotta reach in. See that little head right there? That has to come out, but you gotta take the tension off of it in order to rotate the wire and get it out of there. What happened there? Here we go. The throttle had pushed in. Took away some of my cable slack. There we go. So you gotta take that out. Once that's out, oh god, my hand's stuck. There we go. Now that that's out, finish this and just slide that cable out through that little slot, just like that. But down in here you can see the drain line, and I thought it would be a good time to take that off. So right there, and it kind of snakes down and winds up down there. so it's not connected to anything else. So when you take it off, you're holding the drain line. So I've taken it off right there, and there's the drain line from the bottom of the carb. So this is your main gas line right here. We're going to take it off, and it always manages to spill a little bit of gas. Need to be able to grab this. Again, this would be so much easier if this winch box wasn't in my way. I could just reach right in there, but I can't quite do it. So I might have to use two hands. Alright, I've moved this clip. Now I can just pull the hose right off of there. Now it rotates more freely. I'm just going to turn the whole thing to where I can get to that gas line. And now I'm going to take that off. Alright, there it is. Bunch of gas everywhere. But, as expected, gas line is off. And if you've turned off the gas, like we did in the very beginning, it doesn't pour gas everywhere. The only thing left is that wire that I said save for last. And I'm going to turn the carburetor all the way over again. Actually, I'm going to take it off. Now that I've loosened that, it'll come right off the engine. You should be able to move it over here and come up and out where the air filter box was. And this wire right here is always a pain, so I'm going to work on taking it off. So that wire is a 12 millimeter, and you have to put this wrench at kind of a funny angle to even get a hold on it to loosen it. Okay, I've taken it out. There it is. Don't drop it. This washer spacer doesn't seem to have a notch, and the others I worked on did, so that's interesting. This is a 2004, the other two I did were 2002 and 2001. Anyways, I'm going to take that thing off just so I don't lose it. That wire can go back down there. Okay, the goal here is this wire, this spacer, and that hole right there all have to line up. When you take this wire, when you screw it in, you're going to turn it like this. However, for some reason it always wants to snap back to the position it was in. So what you want to do is rotate it this way, like you're loosening it, about 20 times, like this, and just really get the wire twisted the other way. You gotta hold against it because it's really gonna want to twist back. Once you've done that, take this, stick it where it belongs. Okay, so after twisting it a bunch, there it is, easily turning in, barely helping it. And then once you get it where it belongs, you can use a 12 millimeter wrench. You have a completely loose carburetor. Oh, it's dripping gas.